Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
Mike Gamble's off tonight, but from Left Turn Call, we got Mr. Cody Powers. How you doing, buddy?
Whoop, whoop. Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. You and me, we've been busy as hell and just our schedules haven't been working out, but finally got you on the show, especially with your beautiful Colties on right now.
Oh, I appreciate the plug.
Yeah, of course, man.
I'm excited to be here. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. I don't know how many times we've brought it up and then just everything getting wild.
Yeah, everything gets crazy, especially, I got the wedding coming up soon, and this guy's had a crazy work schedule as well. He's got school now, so
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I started my semester yesterday, so trust me, I understand that 1,000,000%.
There you go. So, guys, how we always start off our show, we start it with our Diecast of the week. And Cody, what you got for us today, brother?
So I feel like it's only fitting to show this one off. This is my personal favorite diecast. I show this one off any chance I ever get. Dale Jr. 2001 Pepsi 400 win. Now it's not the raced win. We don't have the Mikey scrub there.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Maybe it was the Kenseth scrub, but I mean, still in all of its glory. I think that this is the most impactful and important NASCAR race win that we've ever had.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most iconic NASCAR races of all time. Just everything that Dale Jr. went through that entire year, and then to go and win at that track that same exact year. Yeah, I mean, that's got a place in everybody's heart, even if they're not a Dale Jr. fan.
Dude, yeah, I still can't watch the whole ending and celebration without tearing up. I threw that in our intro, and it's just like that whole thing. And I sat there and just watch it every single week, and just my eyes swell up.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic moments in NASCAR history for sure. But let's talk another iconic NASCAR moment, buddy. What do you got for your diecast?
All right, so we are going to Daytona this weekend, and I didn't get to play this car back in February because I didn't bring it with me when I was back at West Virginia. So I finally get to play it now. Yeah, this is probably my favorite diecast in my collection. It is Trevor Bayne's 2011 Daytona 500 race win version. Honestly, if Trevor Bayne did not win the 2011 Daytona 500, I probably wouldn't have been a NASCAR fan. So, Cody, I don't know if you know the story. I got into the sport in 2011. I was never into it before then, but my dad finally made me sit down and watch the race with him because he was a big junior guy and a big senior guy. So he wanted me to watch the race with him. So the first race I watched was the 2011 Daytona 500, and I was just like, you know what? If I'm going to get into this, whoever wins the Daytona 500 today, that is who I'm going to root for. Just so happened to be Trevor Bayne from Knoxville, Tennessee. And yep, the rest is history right there. Like, I couldn't imagine, what if Kyle Busch won the 2011 Daytona 500? I'd be a Kyle Busch fan.
What if it was Bobby Labonte?
Listen, okay? I've not been able to escape it in any conversation that I've had that's NASCAR related for the last month. I'm not kidding at all. That's another heartbreaking Carl Edwards moment. I have not been able to escape the Carl pain recently. He's been everywhere. You would have been a Carl Edwards fan, man, because Carl Edwards came in second that day, and you probably would be just as sad as I am today had that happened. But I mean, yeah, young kid coming in, getting a win for the Wood brothers. I can remember that race like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool moment for sure. And then, yep. The rest is history.
Yeah. So, Cody, how did you get into NASCAR, brother? Can you kind of explain, who was your driver to start off?
So I was born into NASCAR. My papa absolutely worships the sport. My father was a big NASCAR guy. He's not dead. It's just my parents aren't married. I didn't know how else to phrase that anymore. So anyway, big NASCAR fan. So growing up, it was always on the TV, but I kind of preferred to play video games when I was I'd say in between 6 to 10. I just preferred video games over sitting and watching a race. But as a kid, young child, I was a big Ricky Rudd fan. Ricky Rudd was my guy. I had the full tied outfits, airbrushed Ricky Rudd shirts, just like a traditional 90s kid would be. And then when I branched off and started watching it on my own, of course, I loved Dale Jr., just like any other kid did. But Carl Edwards was my guy. So I watched Carl throughout his whole career. Carl retires, and so did I. I quit watching NASCAR when Carl retired for 4 years. So the 2020 Daytona 500 was my first full, like, I'm going to give it another shot. But I would watch the crown jewels. I always watched the 500, the 600, championship race, whatever. But as far as knowing who was like, when I would turn on the championship race, I didn't know who was in the championship for. So I had completely just fallen off. And then the 2020 Daytona 500 immediately re-engaged me because I was so obsessed with seeing if Ryan Newman survived or not, that pulled me back into the sport entirely.
Talk me through that 2016 championship 4 race, that final restart. Carl
See what I mean? I can't get away from it. It follows.
Talk me through the emotions of that, because I couldn't even imagine, because I thought Carl had that one in the bags. That was his championship right there.
Dude, he had the car to beat. He had the car to beat all night. So good. And I was already indifferent on Joey Logano. Like, he had kind of started becoming that knucklehead anyway, obviously. So already I had just no patience for him. I spiraled and I despised Joey Logano more than any other driver on up until the last, I would say, like 2 or 3 months. When I met him at the Bristol Dirt Race, and he was actually a really nice guy and took time with the fans, I was like, okay, he's not a terrible guy. It's just when he puts on the helmet, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's tricky about Joey Logano. I've met him a few times. He's been probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But when he gets on track, I just cannot stand that motherfucker.
Exactly. Man. Yeah. And then he gets out, he takes the helmet off and he smiles and you're like, oh, look at it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I feel better now, but still, fuck you, man.
Yeah. But yeah, the ending of my race that night. Listen, Carl shouldn't have blocked him that hard. There was no point in blocking him that hard right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely no point. Joey shouldn't have been that aggressive on the restart either. So, I mean, I hate to overuse the statement because I hate the statement more than anything, but it truly was just a racing thing. It just sucks that Carl Edwards was finally for once in his career going to have the cards fall right for him. And man, I had a feeling when the crash happened, like, that he was just devastated. I couldn't imagine, because he had been so close so many times.
Yeah.
So which one was more disappointing to you? 2011 losing it in a tiebreaker to Tony Stewart, or 2016?
So 2011 is the one that haunts me the most. The fact that Tony like crept into the playoffs and then just went on that whirlwind.
He just went into batshit crazy mode.
Yeah, he won 5 out of the 10. It wasn't the playoffs then. 5 out of the 10 chase races. Like, it's insane. But yeah, that one hurts the most because it was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And they finished 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the kicker right there, man. But let's get back into our diecast of the week. I'm going to finish off here, guys. Since we're going to Bristol this week, I think that's what I heard, right? I had to bust out my Kurt Busch Bristol night race win with the damage on there, with the duct tape. What a beautiful car. I wish I was there to see this when I went there in 2019, but man, oh man, I miss Kurt in that 41 car.
Do you?
I do. I mean, things are cool with the 45. I don't know. I just miss the Stuart Haas days with Kurt. I just love the 41. The Haas schemes too. I just loved it.
See, that's my only complaint with the 41. I think if they had better schemes, I think that car would just do better in general. But that was a really like weird era for Kurt. That was around the time that I fell out of the sport, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, I've done enough like research now to know, like, I haven't really missed a beat, so to say now. That was just a weird era for Kurt. Like, that was like his resurgence.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I miss his Stuart Haas days the most is because they brought him back to life. I mean, he was dead basically in his NASCAR career. He was driving for Furniture Row Racing when they were at their beginning, and they were just dog shit. And then old Gene Haas wanted to take a chance. Tony didn't want
Yeah,
anything.
that was the funny thing, is that Tony didn't even want him in the car
Yeah.
at all, because those two did not like each other very much at that point. But
Would
yeah,
you have wanted, if you were Tony, would you have wanted Kurt in your car then?
Well, after all that shit they got into together, and hell fucking no. But Kurt got a win once a year for them, so I'd say that's pretty damn good. And he won the Daytona 500 for them as well.
Kurt's that guy. He's always going to get a win. It doesn't matter where he's at. Kurt is going to get you a win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why it was fucking incredible when he went over to 2311. He won Kansas, and he just looked like he was going to light the world on fire. He was going to get maybe a few more wins this year, but his brain had other plans, unfortunately.
It's awful. It's sad.
Yeah.
I hate to see it happen, but at the same time, I'm glad that we have the technology and the safety features that we have today. Do you know how many guys were probably racing with the same symptoms that he's showing today?
Oh, yeah.
Back in like the 80s and 90s, even into like the 20 teens.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I'm sure even like a few years ago, like, 2 weeks after what Kurt went through, I'm sure guys were getting back in the car like, oh, I'm fine, I can do this, whatever.
Yeah,
but...
if even like any break at all, and they're like, well, I'm dizzy, and they're like, well, that's just a part of it.
Yeah,
it's probably the gas fumes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just incredible to see how far technology has come. So we know that he is not ready. His brain is not safe for these kind of conditions right now. And I mean, if he has to, take the rest of the year off, focus on your health, and if you want to, get back to next year, because it is not worth the risk right now. I mean, Dale Jr. can tell him that right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, bigger picture is like Kurt is more valuable as a person than he is as a driver, right?
Yeah.
But also shout out to NASCAR and 2311 and Kurt too for the way that they're all approaching this. It's not about trying to rush and get him back, or NASCAR is not trying to push him back into the cars so the cars don't look bad and they look like they can absorb hits and everybody's going to be okay. And shout out to 2311 for like supporting Kurt, because as a team, they could probably like force risks here and there and, get Kurt back in there. But like NASCAR as a company, the team, Kurt, everybody involved is just handling it very well. I'm very proud of NASCAR, especially compared to other sports. They're kind of making the NFL look terrible in concussion protocol.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I mean, NASCAR's been knocking it out of the park, and right now, Kurt's got a great substitute driver. I mean, Ty Gibbs has been kicking ass in that 45 right now. So,
I mean, he's just getting ready for next year.
He's just getting ready next year for that 18 car. That's what I'm saying.
Cannot wait for the day that gets announced, because I just cannot wait for Dalton's reaction.
Here's what's going to be terrible, though. After all of these jokes and the months of probably close to a year now of torment that I've given to Dalton, Kyle's just going to re-sign with the 18.
Probably. That's probably what's going to happen. But no, I want him to change teams and manufacturers just so freaking bad, just so Dalton has to change his entire life.
Yeah, his entire lifestyle change.
He has to change his bedroom. He has to change his car. Like if they go to like the Blue
he's got to
Oval
pull
or
the
something.
decals off if he leaves the 18.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have to get like a freaking 1998 beat up Ford Mustang, man. Like
honestly, I think that the idea of Kyle Busch in a Chevy is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, especially if you're thinking like a Hendrick ride right now. Like, let's say if they just want to, they'll just boot out fucking Bowman or Byron, whatever. We want Kyle Busch. Can you imagine that fucking team with Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and then Kyle fucking Busch? Jesus Christ. I don't want anything to do with Hendrick Motorsports after that.
I would be curious to see how that would play out on the Hendrick side of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Colleague is probably your Chevy front runner. I just feel like everything's falling into place. And our boy Jared, everybody knows Jared in the NASCAR community. He sent me a Snapchat this morning and he was like, do you think that this is a hint? And it was Colleague's tweet from Watkins Glen. And they were like, we did some rowdy road course racing or something like that. And I mean, dude, that falls within like something Chris Rice would push to happen, like those little silly, goofy hints.
Yeah. Well, it's just Matt Cog. He's gonna put the money in towards this, and what better guy to have to really get your Cup program going than a guy like Kyle Busch? Oh my goodness! Like he's the biggest free agent in the sport in God knows how long. And if he lands
Probably since junior.
Yeah, probably since when
Yeah.
Dale left. So yeah, I think Kyle Busch in a car, that program is just gonna skyrocket from the get go. That's gonna be crazy to see.
Man, oh man. That'd be fucking crazy if Kyle Busch went over the college. I can't imagine what they would all do. I think that would boost the Xfinity team. I think that would help a lot for Justin Haley as well. I mean, we know that he shows up on the road on the super speedways, but yeah.
I think that we could see a Colleague Rowdy Racing or Rowdy Colleague Racing, something like that. Because then you have to also think about the guys that he's going to bring into the organization as well from his truck program. Now, of course, you got to think, does he lose his entire lineup right now? Would he lose John Hunter? Would he lose Chandler Smith? Would he lose the Corey Heim? Or would they stay loyal to Kyle Busch?
Well, I feel like honestly the best thing to do is to move with him, because as we've kind of seen, the pipeline for Toyota,
They don't have
it doesn't really go that smoothly. We've seen guys get booted out of so many rides so fast. I mean, look at Eric Jones, look at Daniel Suarez, all these other guys. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, the Toyota pipeline with going through the trucks to Xfinity and then moving up the Cup, it's just a mess right now.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like Chevy or Ford, that's like your best opportunity if you want to move up.
If I'm the guys at KBM right now, I'm absolutely moving to whatever manufacturer and whatever team he goes to, just solely for that reason. Toyota they don't have the seats. Ian, you said it perfectly. So yeah, if I'm those guys and I have an opportunity to go drive for Kyle Moore with KBM at the new manufacturer, I don't see how you don't do that. But maybe the only guy I could see not doing that is a guy like John Hunter Nemechek. He's kind of been in that Toyota pipeline for a while now, and I can see him on the up and up here within the next season or so. He'd be the only one, but I think the other guys follow.
Yeah. He's a guy that I see that could take over like a full-time Joe Gibbs ride next year in Xfinity for sure.
That's the fun about the sport. You just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Corey Heim would be a guy to stay with Kyle, just for the rivalry that Corey and Ty had in the ARCA series. Like, it would just be weird them eventually ending up teammates.
Yeah, exactly. And look at Corey Heim right now. I mean, that guy, he lights the world on fire when he gets into one of those trucks. He's always competing for a win. So honestly, he needs a full-time deal in some sort next year because he definitely deserves it.
Oh yeah, the kid came in and showed out. There's no denying his talent.
Yeah, this is the best driver lineup that KBM's had since really, I'd say, the Noel Gregson days, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, Kyle Busch, he had no problem talking all the shit about his truck program.
When Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton was on the team.
What an all-star lineup that was. But this is probably one of the better driver lineups that they've had.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's just crazy. John Hunter Nemechek, he's still sucking, man. John
Hunter Nemechek is what I like to call him.
Yep.
Kind of like he's in. It's weird to say, but it's like he's having a sophomore slump.
Yeah, it really seems. I mean, he lit the world on fire last year. Fucked up at the end of the season, but ever since then, it's just he has not been the same guy. Kind of took that Kevin Harvick route a little bit, getting just some shit on at the end of the season, and then just in limbo right now, can't win at all.
Well, this is the thing, is he's had the speed in his truck. He just does these things to himself.
Yeah.
How many times is he taking himself out of contention to win races? So it's just something he's got to improve on here if he wants to be a championship contender come November.
Could you imagine if Carson Hocevar and John Hunter Nemechek matured just a little bit and chilled their aggression out?
I think the racing would be a lot better.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and those two guys, not only have they caused some of the dumbest incidents on the track this season, but they would be like the two guys running the entire series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carson Hocevar, the last two truck races, has intentionally wrecked somebody in both of those races. So
and they were both playoff races too.
Yeah, so that's just stupid right there for a guy who I think he's going to be a superstar once he kind of matures down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we see that with a bunch of guys, and when we saw that with Noah Gragson, years ago, everyone freaking hated him. He was a fucking punk. No, I was really the only person that liked him. And now everyone opened up to him. I mean, he still does shit like what he did to Sage Karam at Road America. I will admit that was very fucking dumb.
That was a step in the wrong direction. That was a step back.
We took a step back.
He was doing so good up until that point. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
but now that we got a full-time Cup ride, let's ride.
all right. Let's dig into this thing.
All right. You got something to say, Cody?
Yeah. So real quick, I just want your quick little rundown on Noah going to Petty GMS.
I don't dislike it. I think it's good. I think it's going to be a good stepping stone team for him. I mean, honestly, right now, the team has a lot more speed than they have had in the past. GMS has been helping out that team a lot. I mean, look at Eric Jones. There's been times where he's almost gotten a few wins this year. I mean, he looks really fucking good at Auto Club Speedway. Almost won Talladega. He looked really fast at Michigan. So I say the speed is there. I just don't think that Ty Dillon is a good driver. I just don't think he has much talent at all. That's why he's down there in the slumps right now. You get a guy that has a whole lot of talent like Noah Gregson. I mean, he's proved it in the Cup Series this year in calling equipment that he can run with the big boys at the super speedways, at the 2 miles, at the 1.5 miles. He can do it all. I think he's ready, and I think he's going to outrun Eric Jones for sure. I think he's going to have a great year. I don't think he's going to get any wins. I think he'll get quite a few top 10s, though. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people and outrun that equipment.
So you don't think that he's jumping the gun a little bit?
No, not one bit. I mean, look how long he's been in the Xfinity Series now, man. This is his 4th full-time season. He's gotten so many wins now. He looks like he could win the championship this year. It's going to be him and Ty Gibbs running for it. So he looks like one of the best drivers. He's Cup ready. I mean, but at the end of this season, he'll be running half of the Cup races on the schedule. So I'd say he's ready. I don't think they're jumping any gun. He's spent his time down the Xfinity Series, and it's time to go.
That's the most compelling case I've ever heard.
Man, I've been watching Noah Gregson since he was in the ARCA Series, and when he moved up to the Truck Series, I became a full-time fan. When I met him at the drag strips over by Chicagoland Speedway, and I was wearing, he was doing an appearance over there, and I was like, all right, I got to wear his shirt, I'm going to be the only NASCAR fan there, so why not? And I just saw him walking with Brandon McReynolds, and I was like, oh, shit. And he was like, oh, shit, because I was wearing his shirt. And then we talked for a little while, me, him, my dad, and then we took a picture together, and then he posted a picture of me and him on his Instagram, and that made me a fan of Noah for life. And then
I bet.
Just all the social media interaction. I mean, me and him, we played fucking Xbox before. I mean, he's the coolest motherfucker in the world. Treats me like a friend, and that's why I'm a fan for life. Kevin Harvick's my day one, but Noah Gregson just stepped up to my number one.
I respect that.
Yeah.
See, my thing with him going to the 42, I'm a little bit on the worrisome side because I don't want to see a talent like Noah Gregson be wasted in a ride like the 42 car. I think the first 7 races next year are really going to show us what the true equipment of that 42 car is, because I'm with you. I don't think Ty Dillon's a great race car driver at all. He's had opportunities and he hasn't done anything with them. But I just don't want to see such a good talent like Noah Gregson, like we've seen John Hunter Nemechek. He's made the move to Cup, and look at what happened there. Like Todd Gilliland and guys like that. Like Noah Gregson's a better race car driver than Todd Gilliland, but like a guy like John Hunter Nemechek, he moved up to the Cup Series, struggled so much with that ride. I just don't want to see something like that happen to a guy like Noah Gregson in the 42. I just don't know what's the true speed out of the 42 car, because Eric Jones has had some phenomenal runs this year, but then you look and you see Ty Dillon down there like in 25th, anywhere in the 23rd, 27th range. I just don't want to see that for Noah Gregson. So I'm curious. I think next year, the first 7 to 10 races, that's going to show you what the true equipment of the 42 car is. And I'm hoping to be wrong here, but I think he's going to struggle a little bit next year, because I just don't know if the equipment of the 42 is what it is, what the 43 car is.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, because I mean, as we know right now, he has a ton of sponsors that he could potentially bring over. Bass Pro, True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee. I mean, hell, he's still linked up with Wendy's. I mean, who knows what he could bring over, bring in some more money into that team, make those cars faster. So, I mean, right now it's all up in the air, but I really do think it's going to be day and night from what we see from Ty Dillon this year when we watch Noah Gragson racing next year.
It's so funny because you guys are literally like yin and yang right now.
Yeah,
Like, with your thought process on it. Yeah, I guess like you both gave a really, really, really great point on both sides. I think that you both will be right in some ways, personally, and I think you'll both be wrong in some ways.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's going to be a learning year for Noah, of course. I mean, this year he's just focused on Xfinity and he just wants to get wins in Cup right now. And then next year it's going to be focused on, we got to work on points. That's all we got to work on. So yeah, it's going to be a grind next year. We'll see how it works out for him. But I really do think he's going to be a threat on those super speedways. I mean, look at him in that 62 ride.
I agree. I think, is he running Beard this weekend?
Yeah.
He is, but he's not running the Wendy's car again. I'm so disappointed.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's the Beard car, and I think it also says South Point Casino is going to be on there too.
Okay, cool. I could totally see him being a threat this weekend, just in the super speedway regards.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, with how well he did for the Daytona 500 before he got wrecked out, I mean, he was running top 5. He looked like he could have, gone up and won that damn thing. I'm saying maybe we might see a Noah Gragson sweep this weekend. Who knows, boys?
Ooh.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
Sure.
my liver would not survive. I'll tell you that.
2 days in a row.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
You got to call out on Monday.
Oh yeah. There is no way I'm going in if that happens. All right. So how about we get into our Watkins Glen review, Cody? What an exciting weekend it was in New York, man. The Xfinity Series never disappoints. But unfortunately, it disappointed Justin Allgaier early in this one. I think it was on lap 5. He's going through the S's and just spun himself out, and he wrecked and completely destroyed that whole front end. Not what Gator wanted, but he's got quite a few wins this year, so he's safe. He's got quite a few points, but man, oh man, you don't want that going 5 laps into the race at Watkins Glen, at a track that you're pretty damn good at too.
Yeah, I think road courses are the beauty of the sport, where we're always going to see that guy who's dominated the season just have a terrible day at a road course, right? Like it's a given. Luckily for him, I mean, he's more than locked in when it comes to the playoffs. I'm sure it was frustrating, but at the same time, I don't know that maybe he cared too much. Obviously, it's been a track that's been great to him, but I mean, so how many wins does he have this season? Is it 3?
I think he's got
2 or 3?
Yeah, 3 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I would just look at it as a paid day off, right?
Yeah, exactly. Did what you had to do. You fucked up. Oh well, going home, hang out with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ty Gibbs, my goodness, this guy for sure is Cup Series ready. I mean, we see this guy going toe-to-toe with the best of the best. He's going toe-to-toe with Kyle Larson, William Byron in the Xfinity Series, just outrunning these guys on the road course. I mean, we saw it at Road America too. Ty Gibbs is just a threat all the time, and I'm a little nervous when he goes up to the Cup Series because I think he's just going to come right out the gate and get a few wins his rookie year.
So he's one of the first up and comers who, when he goes to the Cup Series, that I don't see many struggles for him early on. I expect Ty Gibbs to go to the Cup Series full time, and in that 18 car, and I just expect him to take off. I don't see what we see out of these other rookies, like a kind of struggle in their first full season. We might see that a little bit because Ty does have that immaturity side to him. We've seen that in the Xfinity Series and this past year, but he's kind of gotten better with that.
Mm-hmm.
But he is probably the first true prospect that's up and coming that I don't see him struggling at all, or it won't be for that long before he goes to victory lane on Sundays. That's just how I see it.
He lucked out too in a lot of ways as far as the Kurt issue goes. talk about a very diverse part of the season where you get kind of a little bit of everything in a cup car. And he's going to be able to take that and kind of set on it. Because, I mean, we don't know if Kurt will fully come back or not, right? I mean, that's still to be determined ultimately. The goal is Daytona, but it might not happen. Ty could be able to get that free practice time, you know, the last half of the season. That would be a pretty substantial amount of time, you know, to run on some tracks twice. I believe he'll have 2 tracks twice. But I agree entirely. I think he is going to come into next season. He's guaranteed a cup ride one way or another, right? I think that he could easily have 3+ wins next season in the Cup Series.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I can see him going far into the playoffs. I mean, this kid, he honestly reminds me a lot of when Jeff Gordon was coming into NASCAR. Just lit the world on fire as a youngin'. And I
don't believe he's a real human. I think that Joe Gibbs like grew him in a lab
he's
somewhere.
made in a lab, and he's like, you are going to win X amount of races every season. You are
pry his eyes open and make him watch like all Dale Earnhardt or something.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs is the Anakin Skywalker of NASCAR. It's just which path is he gonna take?
Yeah, I see that, and honestly, I see him going down the dark side.
Oh, he's 1,000,000% going. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yep.
He's already going toe to toe with Kyle Busch. Looking back at Richmond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what happened there? Ty Gibbs passed him and smoked the old man. That's what he did.
I mean, honestly, when's the last time do you guys think we've seen a prospect like Ty Gibbs of his caliber? How long has it been?
Jeff Gordon.
And Gordon?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon. Yeah.
I have a spicy one. Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's pretty fair because that guy, his first year in Xfinity with JRM was meh when he won that first championship. But when he was with RCR, he was incredible. He was the driver that year. And unfortunately, you know, he had to deal with some shitty RCR equipment for a couple years until they got this next gen car rolling. And then he finally figured it out with this thing. And yeah, I honestly got to agree. That's pretty damn close. If he was in like a Joe Gibbs ride or something, I think he would have gotten 2-3 wins his rookie year for sure.
The dude is fast. That's just all there is to it. Yeah, I'm so excited for him to be in a Toyota.
Yeah, I can't wait for him. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be next year.
I was thinking it's going to be next year. From what I hear, Richard Childress does not want Tyler Reddick in that race car anymore. He is so pissed about how this whole thing went down. So if Kurt Busch decides to hang it up, just to focus on his health, there you go. I think Tyler Reddick goes to 45 right away. For 2023 because Richard Childress just does not want him in that race car anymore. They could easily just drop that option right then and there, and then that would all work out like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but there's always kind of been a trouble in paradise between Richard Childress and Tyler Reddick.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I think it was 2020. Yeah, it was. When Trump attended the NASCAR race. Yeah. Tyler had to delete that tweet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was when Donald Trump tweeted at Bubba to apologize, and then Reddick posted the gif of him like, closing the door. Yeah. That was great.
Well, here's the real thing. Richard Childress is just tired of seeing Tyler Reddick whoop his grandson on the racetrack every single week. I mean,
yeah, right. Yeah, you just add all of this into one big concoction, and it's
yeah.
I mean, look at the speed of it. Look at the competitiveness side of the 8 compared to the 3 every single week. I mean,
you know, they're putting way more speed into that 3 too, just for all.
Yeah, just imagine if Tyler was in the 3.
Oh my God, he'd probably be the championship favorite right now, man.
It's just a thing right there. Yeah.
Just Austin Dillon, just the Dillon brothers in general. They are just not good racers.
That's just the thing. Austin Dillon, he's got to ride for life. Richard Childress will never have it in him to kick his own grandson out of that 3 car.
Yeah.
I think Austin Dillon is going to retire soon and move up into administrative roles in RCR.
That could be the goal.
So he's the one who put together the Jeffrey Earnhardt Larry Mack deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That was all him. So like him being able to like pull something like that together, he's got the Team Dillon management,
Mhm.
like all of that stuff. I'm telling you, the dude's gonna hop out of the car. He's got his TV show now. All he needs is like some controversy around him, and he could be a huge reality star.
Oh yeah. And next thing you know, he's gonna be in WWE or something. Who knows?
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's the career path for most people.
Yeah. I mean, what? This is his second reality TV show now because he was technically on Racing Wives too. So yeah, he's just ready for that kind of lifestyle. I think racing is behind him now, man. Focus more on the cameras.
Right? Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He's got it.
Yeah, he can do it.
Let's get someone with some actual maybe talent in the 3 car. So the 3 car is just not a disappointment on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, even kind of going back on what you were saying, Cody. I mean, what about Jeffrey Earnhardt?
Oh man, get an Earnhardt back in the 3
Oh.
car.
The world would be in love again.
I would like to see him in the Xfinity for a
Yeah.
full season before
Yeah.
like throwing him into the Cup. It's always fun to entertain the idea. What if Austin Dillon announces at the end of the season he's done in the 3 and we get Kyle Busch in the 3? Honestly,
Oh.
how would you feel about that? And like really think about it, because what if Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch in the 3 and he kind of develops his own identity in the 3 car as well? That is going to kind of like just clash with Senior's legacy in the 3.
That would be so fucking insane. I can't even imagine. I don't even know if they could give him the 3 just because they know that he would probably rewrite history and all this shit. I
Right.
mean, you got to put him in like the 31 or something, or the 33 that they've done in the past. You cannot put Kyle Busch in the 3 car. I mean, that would be pretty badass. But at the same time, as someone who grew up loving Earnhardt, it's just rewriting the legacy, really, I feel like.
Yeah, and that's one bad thing about NASCAR. In team sports, there's more than enough numbers, right? Like you're not going to have that many iconic guys on one team where you've got to retire 1 through 100.
Yeah.
And in NASCAR, we can't do that because we would genuinely run out of numbers. Because I mean, in my opinion, the 43 shouldn't run, the 3 shouldn't run, the 24 shouldn't run, the 48 shouldn't run, so on and so forth. Like we just start like knocking numbers out because we have to retire them. And that's what makes it difficult. And if you think about it, when a number is very, very, very popular from one guy, nobody else that ever sets in that car can match the success.
No.
Yeah.
Like William Byron is not going to be as successful as Jeff.
Oh,
Like,
no way.
Like he might have an incredible career himself, but William Byron is never going to be fully associated with the 24.
Yeah.
Alex Bowman will never be the 48.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, and as we know right now, Tyler Reddick is not going to be the 8 forever either, so won't be able to rewrite the history for Dale Jr. So
Right,
June
yeah.
Bug's safe.
Yeah, my biggest fear is Kyle going to the 3. And it's just, I think that's too big of personalities for one number.
That'd be
Yeah,
insane.
I don't think they should do it. I don't think that'd be. I just don't think that'd
Well,
be
he
good for
brought the 3
NASCAR.
back for Austin. I think if Austin were to somehow step away, I think the 3 would go with it. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think that would be the smart thing to do.
like that should be one number that we should never race again, just because of how Dale Earnhardt's career ended, really, and just like the legacy that he had to one of the most iconic people in NASCAR, and he died at one of the most iconic tracks. I really feel like that 3 should just never come back. I mean, when Kevin Harvick was taking over his ride, they didn't have him drive the 3. They had the 29. They completely changed that car just so they wouldn't be messing with Dale Earnhardt's identity. And then look, the freaking Richard Childress's grandson comes and like, oh, here you go. Here's Dale's car.
Now, I think the reason why they didn't retire the number is that would have probably created a conversation to where they would have needed to retire a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
Just due to the amount of people in the past who had died in like, if we wanted to just specifically talk about the Grand National and the Cup Series, because then you could open up like the argument, well, anybody who's died during a race, we should retire their number. And nobody would just see it as like, well, why is Earnhardt more important than Fireball? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I see that, but just in my opinion, I just think leave the 3 alone. Maybe don't even
Amen.
retire the number, but just give it some peace.
I agree. No, I'm on your side 100%.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get back into this race review. How about Sammy Smith, guys? Showing a lot of speed in that 18 ride. He went on to win stage 1. This youngin's showing great success here, guys.
I liked what they did with Sammy Smith on Saturday. They kept him out to get that stage win, and then Jason Radcliffe knew it was going to happen. Put him in the back, see what the kid can do, and from the day he had, the kid came through. This is one guy that Toyota's going to want to wrap up for sure. And they were saying it on the broadcast. If not a truck ride, like if Kyle leaves and they can't put him in a KBM Toyota, I could see him getting a full-time gig with Gibbs next year, or at least lengthier schedule than what he's got this season. Because well, shit, he ran third here, and now they kicked Drew Dollar out of the car for Daytona, and Sammy Smith's going to go run at Daytona, which I think is just better for the company financially altogether. Yeah. Drew Dollar steps in a race car. There is a 9 out of 10 chance that car is getting wrecked. So
and pissing off the Fab Shop guys too. So
no, yeah. Sammy Smith, I think he's going to be a guy that you're going to see in the Toyota system for a long time.
Well, and he's bringing in Pilot Flying J too. Yep. So
brings in the money and he produces on track. But no, I liked what they did with him on Saturday. Let him get the stage one and then put him in the back to see what he can do. Came through.
Yeah.
Sammy Smith to the 54 next season. That's got to happen.
I mean, why the hell not? I mean, I think that'd be perfect.
The kid, every time he's gone out there and raced, like he has been competitive. His finish at Michigan might not have shown for, which I mean, don't get me wrong, 12th. He ran in the top 10 for a good part of the day. So, I mean, he is quick.
Yeah. I mean, things are just getting started for him right now. So can't wait to see what the future holds for the kid.
Just as long as he doesn't take the 18 car next year, and I get it, I'll be okay.
Man, I like you as a person, so I will not give my opinion on Trevor Bayne.
Oh, that's good.
Even being from East Tennessee, you don't have nice things to say about Trevor.
I think Trevor Bayne's the guy who's just never going to get it done. He just reminds me of Reed Sorensen too much.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at the careers.
Look at the cars he's driven. You want to start this?
He was in the 6 car.
Look at him. He's driven the 6 car since him, and they have not gotten it done. So,
man, you set him off.
That's what
I know. Yeah, but he's not gotten it done in the 18 either, has he?
I mean, he's had the runs. It's just look at the pit crew. Look at the pit crew that screwed him out. That keeps sending him in the back. That's my argument there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna simmer down now before we really take off here.
He's gonna be thinking about this all night now.
I know, yeah.
Oh shit. So then Kyle Larson, he went on to win stage 2, and then we had the leaders spinning for the win. In my opinion, I don't think William Byron really gave Ty Gibbs any room in the bus stop whatsoever, which caused them both to spin. And then pretty much gave Kyle Larson the win there after that. But then what was kind of bullshit was that William Byron retaliated and took out Ty Gibbs after that. I mean, that was really William Byron's own damn mistake that he took himself out. Didn't give Ty Gibbs any room going into that turn into the bus stop. So honestly, that's a big fat L for Willie B right there for me.
He's not even running in the playoffs or in the championship for the Xfinity Series. Like it's fine for those guys to go to. I love bushwhacking. That was a part of our childhood, you know, every single week. But I don't think that as a Cup Series driver who's not racing for the Xfinity Series championship, the spinning him out after the fact is just a unnecessary. It's a dick move.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it, because all that did was just cost Ty, which don't get me wrong, he's definitely locked in for the playoffs. Like there's no, we're not even arguing that point, but it's so insane to wreck out a guy and spin him out who's actually fighting for a championship in this series. And I get it. He probably sees Ty as competition because he knows Ty's coming to the Cup Series, whatever, but he's not this season. It's the equivalent of a high schooler beating up a middle schooler, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really just makes no sense for Willie B to be doing that shit. But I mean, it's the heat of the moment for these drivers. So I mean, we see that all the time. So I mean, that's why we love this sport, huh?
Best sport in the world.
Oh yes. So yeah, Kyle Larson won at not Road America. I'm sorry, Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series. So let's move over to the Cup Series race. And we had the field going to green, single file. Kind of reminded me of the good old days when they used to do that, except they're going single file in the rain. And then we had an early spin for AJ Allmendinger. His good old friend Austin Cindric spun him going into turn one there. And yeah, just a rough start for the Dinger.
It was terrifying just from the get-go. I was like, oh no, this is about to be Coda 2.0. Yeah, Dinger immediately went from like a clear favorite to just like, oh man, poor guy.
Yep. Yeah, it was all downhill from there after that for the Dinger. Chase Briscoe, he won stage one. I mean, guys, he's showed that he's a really good road course racer. And then Joey Logano won stage two. And then Kimi Räikkönen making his NASCAR debut.
Baby.
Formula One champion gets screwed by his own teammate. So gets caught up in Chastain's mess.
At least the streak stays alive now.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah. So I mean, I feel like at this point Ross is going for a record. You'll never hear me say anything bad about Ross. I love him to death, man. Talk about a guy that you saw coming early on, kind of the way you did with Noah. That was me with Ross. I always knew he was a wheel man. He just had to get behind the wheel of a car that would do what he needed it to do.
No, he outperformed in those JDE cars.
He did. Yeah. But he does need to just simmer down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we're racing like it's the final lap all 100% of the race. Once he calms down with that a little bit, I think he'll be even better than he is now. He's got a long way to go as far as making it up to everybody else, because I'm telling you, go ahead.
What I don't like about Ross Chastain is he does this crap, says in the interview, I need to get better. And then the next week it just continues to go out and do the same shit.
He's also a Denny Hamlin fan. Let's state that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. No, but at least Ross, when he climbs out, he's not like, well, it was his fault.
No,
at least he
it.
takes blame. Yeah, that's really all you can ask for, as long as he's owning it. Because most of those guys,
but then he still continues to do it. Like, I like Ross Chastain. I don't.
Aren't you a Denny fan though?
I am a Denny Hamlin fan, but I like Ross Chastain. I like Ross Chastain. I don't want Ross Chastain to lose this aggressive driving path style that he wants. But like you said, just he's got to simmer it down just a little bit, because the potential is so high for the one car, for his entire team. Like, he can be a legit title contender, but if he keeps taking people out, those are going to be the same guys. They're going to make sure he's not going to be a title contender.
Yeah. Can you imagine Ross Chastain's in the championship 4? And
he's got a list of people that want to take him out.
Denny's not by
chance.
Yeah,
we know he's saving it right for there. I was at we were at the Gateway race, so that was a fun time for me. After he wrecked Denny, I was just going for every time those two are around each other. I was like, oh, here we go again. Denny's gonna get his ass again.
I don't know, man. The most fun part about Gateway was bringing Dalton with us and watching a Joey Logano win. That was pretty funny.
I can only imagine.
5 hours. He drove 5 hours just to see Joey Logano win, so that was great.
That was a good time.
Joey's the second favorite driver. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right? Remember that picture he took with Joey Logano outside the bathroom in Atlanta?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that does exist.
Just wait.
They were so happy together.
Just wait until Dalton takes a picture with Chase Elliott, and then that'll set the world on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I'll hold my breath for that one.
It's going to be Dalton getting arrested with Chase Elliott in the background.
Yeah.
But alrighty, guys. So let's get more into this. Poor Kimi Räikkönen got Chastained. And then more Ross Chastain drama. Him and Briscoe, they were racing like it was the last fucking lap too. They both spin each other out. I mean, Cody, you put it perfectly. Every single week, these guys, no matter who it is, it's not even Ross Chastain. Everyone's riding around like it's the last lap of the Daytona 500.
There's no respect on Sundays anymore. These guys just drive like idiots.
No, it's like the Truck Series now.
Yeah, and I think this is something we talk about a lot on the show. The safety of these cars is incredible, but it's also kind of like killed the driver's etiquette on the track, because they know, well, I can drive into this guy, he's going to be okay. So, back then they did have the subconscious part of their brain saying, hey, if you wreck, you might die. And now, like, that is no concern or fear for these guys. So they are just like balls to the wall.
Yeah, it just turns into bumper cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so freaking ridiculous. We'll see if Ross Chastain can grow out of this. But I mean, I agree with Nick. I like the aggression. I love to see drivers like
could
that.
Just simmer it down a little bit, and have a little ounce of respect on the racetrack. Then I think he's going to do even better than what he's doing right now. And he's in contention for top 5 every single week.
He could be making friends instead of enemies.
He's got a long way to go before he starts making friends on Sunday.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of people.
It's just like on the NASCAR games when it shows you like all your rivals that you have.
Yeah.
He's got the whole garage in
field.
there. He even has probably some pit crew members too on there that don't like him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Fabricators too. They're like, man, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, right. So fucking nuts. Ross Chastain, get it together, man. But then the drama to end the race. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they're going for it at the final restart.
Can't wait for this.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful boys together. But yeah, Kyle Larson, he basically, I don't know, he just kind of sent it into the first turn, locked up his brakes. I mean, honestly, it's just a racing deal. I don't know why everyone's so mad about it. I mean, that shit just happens, and he bumped into his teammate.
It's just what's happened. What's happened to Kyle Larson this season? I mean, lit the world on fire, 10 wins, a championship last year, and now he just runs like a jackass week in and week out. How many times have we seen it this season? And it's kind of funny to me that to how he got his wins this season, he had to move a teammate out of the way. Did it at Auto Club yet? Otherwise, he wasn't going to win that race, and he did it here again. So it's just, Kyle Larson won a championship, and his message to the field now is, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I need to do. And then, like, after the race, he was saying, like, oh, I really needed those playoff points. And I was like, nah, dude, you're sitting fine in the points right now. It's a racing deal. I get it, but I also understand why Chase Elliott is pissed. This is not the first time this has happened with Kyle Larson. We're doing this the second time that he's cost him a win. So I get why Chase Elliott is pissed. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where to stand on this. It's a racing deal, but I can see why he's mad. And I think why he said the whole Bristol thing is that Bristol's a cutoff race for the playoffs. So maybe he gets his revenge on his teammate at Bristol if it comes down to that.
Maybe that's what he was kind of hinting to.
Maybe that's what he was hinting at there. But yeah, I can see why Chase is mad, but I can also, like, this is
he's done it so many times to other guys. I mean, dude, sometimes you just got to take it. That shit happens to you. Sorry.
I mean, it made the finish exciting. I mean, you just didn't expect that was gonna happen. It was to the finish right there. Going for a win. What did Chase say at Atlanta when he got into the 7 car? He said, if I have an opportunity to go out there and take it, I'm taking option A right there. I'm gonna do it. And I think that's what Kyle Larson did right there.
Kyle was trying to get the win.
I just think it's funny though that both of his wins this season have come from moving Chase Elliott out of the way. I want to hear what he's gonna say.
I love it. You can smell a Harvick fan from a mile away based on their mannerisms with Chase talk.
Dude, you should read our group chat and see what these guys are saying about Chase.
I'm not as bad as fucking Dakota, Dalton, and Connor.
They just take off on.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
it's the Chase Elliott fan club on Sundays, man.
I mean,
I just love him so much.
I'll show my displeasure for Chase Elliott. I don't like the guy, but the things that Dalton and Dakota say are just, oh man, they sometimes they don't really like your boy RJ. I'll tell you.
I was gonna say, I wonder how your friend RJ felt about that move on Sunday.
I'm sure he was upset. If I had to guess,
no Coca-Cola dumping on him.
No. In reality, I mean, it is just a racing thing. That's all there is to it. I do think that there is a standard, like, bar of expectations when it comes to how teammates should really race each other. Coming to the checkered flag, sure. That was well before the checkered flag,
Mhm.
when Larson drove in hot. Also, as you pointed out, this is Larson's second time doing this season against Chase Elliott, right? So I mean, that does absolutely create an argument that even like Larson's number one fan couldn't argue their way out of. The only way Larson can win is by taking Chase out. I mean,
the speed of the 5 just hasn't been there this season.
Right.
So it just got into desperation mode there. And that's
Yeah.
just kind of wild to see after what the kind of season he had last year. I just thought it was going to continue, but this new car, man, it's just not working out for him so far.
Championship hangover.
Yeah, they've had a lot of bad luck. But I mean, Larson's made a lot of like boo-boos too himself. Like I said, it is a racing thing, but I think as a teammate, you definitely have to be a little bit better, strictly as a teammate, more so than anything else. If this was the final race of the season and this was deciding the championship, every man's on their own. But I mean, the last thing you need are your top two guys, your Gordon and Johnson feuding with each other, right? And I mean, you could see that Rick and Gordon both they were right there with Chase, and I guarantee you, Chase did not say congratulations to them. Based on reading his lips and his body movement and how animated he was, he definitely was not saying congratulations.
That's what Rick and Jeff told us.
No, I'm
you
sure
get in front of that camera,
yeah.
you say congrats to your teammate.
I'm sure Rick, as soon as all that went down, he's like, "Ah, shit, not again!"
Yeah.
Like, you had to go
for
through
sure.
Gordon Johnson, and he's like, "What? Come on, man."
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon's like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "Well, you put me here once before, so it's your turn to figure it out."
As someone who doesn't like Chase Elliott and doesn't like Kyle Larson,
Yeah, I was in it for the drama.
This is just fun to watch. I really like all this.
Watkins Glen, that was absolutely nuts. So let's talk about that. It produced a heck of a top 10 here. I mean, you had AJ finishing second. You kind of expected that, but a heck of a rebound for AJ after the early spin. And then you had Daniel Suarez notching another top 5. He has now surpassed the most career top 5s that he's had in a season this year with the 99. But I want to talk about Michael McDowell here in the 34 car. He brought it home 6th. But my question to you guys is, Michael McDowell, when we had the wet tires, when we had the rain tires on, it looked like the man to beat early, and then it just kind of seemed that the Hendrick cars took over once they put the slicks on. So question to you guys, what do you think happens if, say, we had a consistent rain throughout the race? What do we think about driver 34 here? Because I think he had a heck of a shot at it when they had the wet tires on.
I think him, Briscoe, and Reddick would have been the front runners of the race.
Yeah, totally agree. But I don't know. I mean, we've kind of seen speed early out of Michael McDowell at the road courses where it looked like he was gonna just dominate the whole thing, but just doesn't really fall through at the end. Kind of gets that top 10, top 5 finish.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, you talk a big game about Michael McDowell on the road courses. He's got a lot of top 10s on him, but he's only got the one top 5, and that came third at Sonoma, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
So that was his first on the road course. But yeah, still a good run, but it just makes you think, like, he looked good early on in that one. If they kept, if the consistent rain would have stayed throughout, who knows what would have happened there, but still good run nonetheless. And now he gets to go to Daytona, where he is a Daytona 500 champion. So you can never count out the 34 once we get on those super speedways. Going down the list a little bit more, I want to talk about some guys who didn't have a good day. And I think we got to talk about Toyota. I don't know what's up with Toyota and the road course program. It just seems they can't get it. They cannot get it together on these road courses, and it makes you worry about the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs here. But Christopher Bell was the only Toyota in the top 10. Then you got to go all the way down to Denny Hamlin in 20th, and that's where you find your next Toyota. So when we come to these road courses, it just doesn't seem like the Yoders have it, and that could be crucial once we go to the Charlotte Roval. Is the Charlotte Roval a cutoff race?
I don't know if it is this year.
I think it is. I want to believe so.
Mhm.
Is it? I think it might be the cutoff race in the second round.
That sounds right, because it is on like October 9th.
Yeah.
And Bristol is the cutoff race, and it's like the 19th.
Yeah.
So I think that's right.
So yeah, that could. So you can have some Toyota drivers on the outside looking in, heading into the Roval, and then it could be a mess because it just doesn't seem like Toyota can figure out a good road course package.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this whole year we have not seen them show up whatsoever on the road courses. They've been pretty damn good on the mile and a halves and all that, but they just do not have the good program
And in
for road
particular,
courses.
who I'm disappointed in the most, I think, is the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. He's in a tight points battle right now with Ryan Blaney. We could talk about them both. Honestly, those guys just did not get it done on Sunday. And Truex is kind of the one that shocks me the most. Ryan Blaney, he's not the best road racer out there. Yeah, he's got the win at the Roval that he got gifted there, but Truex, I expected a whole lot more out of him because this is a track where he's had success before, and I thought that this could have been the track where he would have had the momentum over Blaney in, but both of those guys just did not have a good day.
I am on the Blaney is overrated train right now. I am the conductor of that train. Truex.
I wish Mike was here. I wish Mike was here for that one.
Truex is in a really rough spot, I think, more so than Blaney, because Truex just is not a super speedway guy.
Mm-hmm.
Truex needs Blaney to have really bad luck early on and for him to have just a decent day. For anything to play into his favor. I mean, sure, Blaney could win, Truex could win. I mean, they're both incredible drivers, but I have a feeling that neither one of them make the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of got that.
I mean, look at where we're going. We're going to Daytona. Anybody could win.
I think it's someone that's really not in the conversation is going to be in that winning.
See this. I can see Chris Buescher getting it done. I can see Brad Keselowski out of nowhere. I think Justin Haley is the biggest dark horse going into Daytona. If he gets the help that he needs, the kid he knows how to maneuver these super speedways, and I think he's your true dark horse going into Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
My super left field guy, just to cap that conversation, Todd Gilliland has shown a lot of speed. Just total left field guy. Mm-hmm. I think Todd could be that guy.
Can you imagine that? Todd Gilliland makes his way into the playoffs.
Todd Gilliland makes the playoffs, and meanwhile, Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. third, fourth in points. They're like, nope, not you guys. Todd Gilliland is 29th in points. He's getting in. Hell yeah. Oh man, I would love for that to happen just for our show next week when we have to hear Mike discuss Todd Gilliland winning and Ryan Blaney not making the playoffs because of it. That's about gonna do it. Yeah, I mean, I think the two biggest disappointments from Watkins Glen is Truex and Blaney, because I thought one of them was gonna have the day, and I really thought it was gonna be Truex, but the speed was just not there for him.
Yeah, I mean, Truex he's been pretty good on the road courses for the past few years.
This was his track. I think this was his chance. He does not have the luck on the super speedways that he needs. I really think this was his chance to go out and get it done, and the speed was just non-existent.
Yeah.
He had 2 weeks back to back where it was like his shot.
Those were his tracks right there, and they just totally shit the bed on both of them. Yeah. So,
which leaves me surprised that he signed another year for a contract with Joe Gibbs, because it just seems like he does not like this next gen car.
He's not having any fun. It doesn't look like he's having any fun with it. So it kind of shocked me as well. But I don't know. He's a racer. He doesn't want it. That's going to be tough for him to give it up. So that's what I think goes into it. But yeah, it does not look like he's having a lot of fun. But otherwise, you guys got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I think that should be good for our race review. Cody, thank you for coming on for our race review. Of course, we're going to have our race preview coming up. Guys, make sure to check out Left Turn Cult with Cody, and of course our good buddy Dalton over there and Cooper. Guys, they are awesome. They always put on a great show over there. I know you guys do live on Twitter and YouTube and a whole bunch of other platforms, right?
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That's usually where you can find us. It's at Left Turn Cult on all of that stuff. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name Left Turn Cult? I love that name.
That was actually all Jacob.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. No, when it comes to names for things, I am the least creative person in the world. Like I've had the same gamer tag now for like 10 years. I just can never think of anything new or catchy.
There you go. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into the Stock Cars Spectacle. Guys, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. So that'll do it for us. I'm Ian Jortson.
And I'm Nick Kinsel.
We'll see you guys next time.